Can we pledge allegiance to the flag, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. Deputy Chief Carl Brittingham's father-in-law passed away. Thank you. Roll call, please.
James Altoff.
Here.
David Villalobos.
Here.
Lester Caper.
Present.
Norman Stick.
Present.
Bill Fisher.
Here.
Ty Wilkeny.
Here.
Carl is absent. Nick Mager.
Here.
Ralph Miller.
Present.
Nick Vercupido.
Here.
David Oshton.
Present. Approval of the work session and public minutes of Wednesday, September 27th. Excuse me, public comment. Sorry. Public comment twice.
We may have to wait for the agendas. You need,
You're gonna wait for the agendas?
yeah, because they really need to be able to comment on agenda items in the first public
Okay.
comment.
Alright, let me go run
Yeah.
Have to bring the yellow highlighter. Yes, this one. That's why you, good. You ran out of agendas? Wow. What's she getting agenda? She getting agendas? She ran out.
I don't think so.
Okay. We're gonna keep it according to oil, I guess. Keep it according to oil. Nice to have an audience.
Yeah, but this audience is really goes for
Mm-hmm.
we get enough crap for this good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, public comment the second time. Public comment the third time. None being, we'll move on. Approval of the work session and public minutes, Wednesday, September 27th, 2023, motion.
Motion.
David Altoff, second.
So moved.
Charlie Caper. Roll call vote.
James Altoff.
Yes.
David Villalobos.
Yes.
Lester Caper.
Yes, ma'am.
Norman Stick.
Yes. Thank you. VIPS report?
I got a late text from Lieutenant Laird. He had something come up, so he was unable to attend. You could see that they had, let's see, 9 details for the month. They had 16 hours of patrol, or shift, maybe that's what it is. 1 training, they had 26 miscellaneous assists, for a total of 52. They had a detail in Cherville to help their VIPs, and then they assisted with the homecoming parade on, September 28th.
Okay, thank you. Move on to Police Department, number 3, staffing.
One of my officers was supposed to be here, thought it was at 7, so. He said he's in his uniform, he should be here. I will start with the second one then. Board of Safety, tonight I'm here to present some life-saving awards to officers that went above and beyond in their duties. I'll start off with the first one. On July 16th, officers and fire were dispatched to a residence in town for an overdose. Officer Powell, Xander Powell, arrived on scene first and was directed to the upstairs bedroom where he observed a male laying unresponsive on the bed. Officer Powell found that this male was not breathing and did not have a pulse. Officer Powell then utilized his issued Narcan nasal spray in the amount of 4 milligrams. After administering this Narcan, Officer Powell placed the male on the floor and conducted a sternum rub in the middle of the male's chest. Officer Powell found that the male now had a pulse, but he was still struggling to breathe. Officer Powell then issued a second dose of Narcan and then rolled the male on his side. It was at this time that the male's breathing began to improve and he gained a stronger pulse. Officer Powell remained with the male on the floor until the arrival of the medics who took control of the male. I believe without quick response and actions and fast administering of the Narcan, this male may not have survived this incident. For his actions performed on July 16, 2023, I would like to present Officer Alexander Powell with a life-saving award. Somebody didn't show up. Congratulations, I appreciate what you do, okay? Let's get a picture. Tom, you gotta get up here in a second.
Don't sit down yet. Don't sit.
Week, and I figured that they were really good to read to you guys. The first one I received was from Brooke Abramson. There it is. Brooke Abramson, she's the senior special agent, branch training of the special teams of the U.S. Department of Labor. It says, Chief Fisher and Command Staff, hope you all are doing well. I wanted to take a moment to send my sincere thanks to Officer Powell, who made contact with Cedar Lake resident Jennifer Lynn Pickney for us over the past few days. Ms. Pickney was identified through Cook County, Illinois, in investigation with the U.S. Secret Service and the Park Forest, Illinois PD as a victim of ID theft, and whose identity was used for a fraudulent cable account linked to a large fraud scheme. Several attempts to make contact with the citizens were unsuccessful until Officer Powell diligently and professionally made contact through our administrative message, put the citizen at ease, and made contact with the investigation team for the final and necessary victim interview. In this day and age, I cannot express enough the ongoing importance of state, local, federal law enforcement collaboration and sincere appreciation your staff for taking time to assist. Our Cook County-based investigation team sends their regards. If there's ever anything the federal partners can do for your agency in the future, large or small, please do not hesitate. Thank you. Thanks to you and your officers. Stay safe, Brooks. And then I also received this email from Diamond Peak. It said, good afternoon, Chief Fisher. I hope all is well. I wanted to send you a quick email commending Officer Alexander Powell. Unfortunately, we are having some issues with one of our neighbors, and he ended up at our house twice today and spoke with my wife. He was extremely professional and caring regarding the situation. Being at work, it was a huge relief knowing the peace of mind that Officer Powell gave my wife as she was at home with our 5-month-old son. Cedar Lake is a great place to live, and this is a prime example of why. Thank you for all that you do, for all that you and your force does to protect the community. Have a great weekend. Mr. Hebers. Hebers? Did I say that right? Hebers? from Diamond Peak Homes. So that was also on Officer Paul. I'm thinking that he gave him a little money, because I keep getting these nice emails about him, but no. He did a great job, so thank you.
Good job.
This next one here is actually a little late. I didn't find out about it until August. Just happened to miss my desk somehow, some way. But this next one was from December 15th of 2022. This came by way of an email from the actual victim in this case, who wanted to say thank you to the officers that saved his life. I'm not using any names just because, but that's how we got notification of it. So on December 15th, 2022, Officer Alexis Dills, and Officer Marcus McDowell were dispatched to an address in town for a possible overdose. Upon arrival, Officer Dills and Officer McDowell met up with Sergeant Godoy, whom had been advised that a male subject was overdosing in the back of the residence. Officer Dills and Officer McDowell found the male subject on the floor in the back bedroom and was overdosing. Another male was performing CPR on him as they approached. Officer McDowell immediately administered a dose of 4 milligram nasal Narcan while they continued CPR. Officer Dills retrieved a second dose and administered it to the male who was overdosing. Officers then performed a sternum rub on the male. The male began to breathe and slightly opened his eyes. Cedar Lake Fire arrived and transported the male to the hospital. In August, Officer Kamstra received an email from the male who had overdosed, and this is what the email said. Hey Brad, this is the victim. I don't know if you were one of the cops that were there when I overdosed, but I would like to thank you and everyone involved for saving me that day, because it opened my eyes and changed me. Whoever gave me CPR broke my ribs, but a couple of weeks later, when I was able to move around, I went to rehab and have been clean ever since. Though we were on opposite sides at the time, I really am a good person and that just got caught up in a bad lifestyle, and I am fortunate every day that I'm alive or not in prison. So thanks for being a good cop and being as understanding as you could. So I would like to present for their actions Officer Alexis Dills and Officer Marcus McDowell for their life-saving efforts. We're going to take a picture over here real quick. You want to shake there?
Good job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You want to take a
Congratulations.
Congratulations, good job.
Thanks for what you do.
Like I said, this was from December of last year. We were just not made aware of it because they just continued on with their day and did their job. So. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. Tyler, you want to get in there? No? You good?
I'm a stupid.
My last one's a pretty rare one. This was pretty amazing to me. I mean, those are phenomenal what they did, but this one, I think, just went just a step more above. So on August 10th at approximately 3 o'clock in the morning, Officer Brad Kamstra, you can come up here for me, buddy, was on patrol when he observed an individual slumped over his chair on his front porch at his residence. Officer Kamstra stopped his vehicle, sounded the horn in an attempt to wake the person up on the front porch. After the person did not respond, he approached the person to find that he was actually having a medical issue. The male subject was breathing but could not respond. Cedar Lake EMS arrived on scene and transported the male to Franciscan Health in Crown Point. On September 6th, Officer Sean Meyer advised me that he spoke with the nephew of that male subject, who advised Officer Meyer that the male subject had actually suffered a stroke when Officer Kamstra observed him. The male was flown to Indianapolis for treatment and recovered, but told Officer Meyer that if Officer Kamstra had not stopped to check on him, he would not have survived. Officer Kamstra went above and beyond at 3 o'clock in the morning when Officers could have just shined a light, saw someone fall asleep on their porch, and could have kept going, but he didn't. He went to make sure that the person was okay. So he went above and beyond his actions and is being presented this life-saving award as well. Officer Brad Feenstra.
Great job.
Good job. Thank you.
And since I have communications open, I have one last email that I just recently received. It was from a gentleman in town. He said, "I really wanted to appreciate Corporal Alande for taking care of the Little League illegal parking violators. Please pass it on to him." So I told him that I would.
That would be Mr. Henderson.
I think I'm speaking for everybody in the entire town of Cedar Lake. We're all proud of you, each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I correct myself. It was Cedar Lake Fire. I have this habit of saying Cedar Lake EMS, but it is the fire department. So we work well together. My guys respond to all their calls with them, so I really appreciate what they do for them, so.
We don't
I wanna send them all to paramedic school. Can we do that?
We don't have to keep you guys tied up, we can excuse them,
Does
because
that come with a raise?
So, Chief, they're accused of...
There, you guys can stay for the meeting if you'd like, or if you would like to say something. Okay, would you like to?
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go to, B, new officer update.
No current updates. She's still in the police academy, due to graduate November 17th, but from all reports, doing extremely well.
Great. And then do we have any other, C?
No other, sir.
Okay, communications.
Communication for the 3 emails that I read to you.
Okay, great. Number 5, finances.
You got our finance report, our purchase orders for the month of September. Nothing of great significance other than, the stuff for the new vehicles, and we did order another rear light bar for one of the previous Durangos, so we're starting that process right now.
Great.
So we got that on order. I think he said it'll take about 3 to 4 weeks to get in from Citadel, and then we'll just have to schedule the officer to get up there with his car. It'll take 1 day to install once they do it, but we just gotta get put on the schedule. So we're gonna continue to do that
Good.
with each car.
Great. Training report, number 6.
We got our training report for the month of September. Most of them was stuff at NILEA, which is pretty awesome. So Officer Amstra went to STOPS instructor school, so he's a certified STOPS instructor. That stands for Strategies and Tactics of Patrol Stops. He'll be able to teach new recruits. We had one of our officers, Corporal Huppenthal, is an instructor in SFSTs, which is Standard Field Sobriety Testing. He went to the academy and taught the new recruit class SFSTs. And then we had a secondary instructor at NILEA for a STOPS class. We had Unit 44, which is Officer McDowell that you saw. He went to his sniper training for the SWAT team, and Officer Corbin went to CNT training for his communication for crisis negotiation.
Okay, number 7, equipment.
Nothing right now. Nothing towards equipment right now.
Okay, number 8, activity report.
You got a copy of the activity report. We're averaging just right around 40 calls a day. We had 1,038 calls for the month, for a total of 10,862 calls. We issued 81 state citations, 403 state warnings. We had 27 arrests with 34 charges and 7 warrants. 262 total arrests for the year with 415 charges. You also have a copy of the traffic stop analysis for the month of September with 430 traffic stops. And then we had a total of 448 written warnings and 121 citations. We have a total of 557 law incidents for the month with 27 arrests. I told you that already. You also got a copy of the K-9 deployment analysis. The month of September, he was deployed 10 times for various occasions. You also got a copy of the town ordinance citations from our code enforcement. In the month of September, she issued 37 citations for a total of 433 for the year. And she issued a total of 37, let me make sure I'm on the right one, 37 warnings for a total of 473. Let me go back here, I think I'm correct. 433 citations, 437 warnings. That's it.
Okay, thank you. And number 9, Lexipol policy updates.
Lexipol, we have 3 update requests. I will go through all 3 of them at once if you're okay with that. We met with our Lexipol team, was it 2 weeks ago, Dave?
Mhm.
2 weeks ago. Went over 3 different policies that we needed to update. The first one is policy 903, records, maintenance, and release. This was a very simple one thing change. On page 4, we changed administrative assistant to custodian of records. It was given the administrative assistant the requirement to maintain certain records that she doesn't have access to. So we just changed the verbiage to custodian of records. On number 1108, which is communicable diseases, we removed most of the sections that refer to an exposure control officer. And the reason for that is we don't need an officer for exposure control because we send our team directly to the Cedar Lake Fire Department, to their medics if they're exposed at any time. And if they can't go there, they'll go directly to the hospital for exposure control. So we didn't need an officer to oversee even more of that. We will do it through their, through the fire department or through St. Anthony's. We also did double check with other departments that are certified policies to make sure that they have the same thing as far as having an exposure control officer. And that seemed to be more of a very large department versus a smaller departments. And then 1131, since the town, this is another simple one-word removal. Since the town adopted the employee assistance program, we just removed the word police out of it in the policy because originally when we developed the EAP, when we were going for it, we were going to do it for the police and fire. So with our policy, it would say police. Well, the town adopted it town-wide, so we just are removing the word police so that it just says town employees. That's it. Any questions?
Okay, motion to accept Lexipol policy updates.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
James Altough?
Yes.
David Villalobos?
Yes.
Lester Caper?
Yes, ma'am.
Norman Stick?
Yes. Thank you. Fire Department, communications number 11.
I'd like to thank everybody that came to the open house. We had a really nice open house for a really pretty day, and it turned out really well to the public and anybody else that came for the pancake breakfast. We sold tons of pancakes.
Yeah, I'd like to compliment you. It was neat, the fire little silhouette that you had for the kids. That was neat. The food was excellent, so it was great.
And I want to recognize Stop and Shop in Welch's Stop and Shop for donating all the sausage, and then Stratz for donations, and also Gordon Foods for donations. Pretty much all the food was donated.
So I was complimenting Chad Wilson on the sausage gravy, but he fessed up that he just heated it up.
Yeah,
He didn't make
he
it.
didn't make it. He didn't make it. We also, the Association Butts and Fire Prevention stuff, also during the communication, part of communication is going out and going to our schools, and our guys that do that have visited the daycares and the grade schools to meet with the kids and do the program through them. We're trying to increase the size of that, but with the staffing we have, we can't get, out to every single school and every single day, so it's a little difficult, but we're doing the best we can. And at the open house, our association decided to buy a bouncy house type village, but it's a thing half the size of this room where you go through station to station to station to learn about fire prevention. So we were hoping to have that before fire prevention, but it's on back order. That's it.
Okay, number 12, finances.
Our budget and our purchase orders are not in here. I wasn't sure if they were, Sadie was on vacation for 2 weeks, but I don't know why they're not in here, so we'll have to pass on that. The grant, we're still waiting to hear. We have not been eliminated from the grant yet. And I guess Halloween is the deadline. We should know something by then for sure. But that was for 3 firefighters. And as of right now, I think last week I checked, there was no departments, not one department in Indiana that received a federal grant for employees, and that was Indianapolis. But I haven't checked this week to see, but we received no notice yet, so. Which, no news is still good news.
So there have been 2 cuts already, right?
3,
3, so we've made 3 cuts.
we've made 3 cuts, yeah.
That's good news, that's good.
Yep.
Okay, so then we would move on to number 13.
Yeah, staffing, we're running short right now. We lost a paramedic. And we just put on a paramedic, and he's currently still going through the perf process. So we're doing another emergency hire to replace the one that just left. And our part-time list, we also advertise for more part-timers, and we're trying to get some more volunteers. We had a couple people come through the door, and we do have some applicants for the full-time position that's being advertised currently. So we'll stay tuned for once we get the deadline is a week from Friday, will be the 2 weeks emergency notice, and then we can start the interview process with the commission to select our next full-timer. And this is just a replacement, not an increase, obviously.
How many people you had apply so far?
Right now we have 4 on the list, and then we have 4 more.
Good.
Unfortunately, none of them are paramedics. There's 2 paramedic students, but when we're doing some research to see how good they're doing in class, so.
Good. Training?
I'll let Chief Monger take it since that's his baby.
As attached, you can see the full hours logged for September, 676, with breakdown by category and by hours.
I like your little graphs, by the way, those.
Thank you. Very talented.
Any questions on training? Okay, training report, equipment, number 14.
The equipment, our ladder truck is still down. It blew a head gasket, so it's getting an in-frame rebuild, which we're waiting to hear on an estimate. It's going to be somewhere probably anywhere between $20,000 and $35,000 to rebuild it. Our first out due 2009 engine that the township owns blew a radiator, and then we damaged the radiator on a call the second time, so it went out. The insurance is paying for that, and the township picked up the first one as far as the damage was concerned.
So on the
Kevin's
first,
hope didn't.
excuse me, on the first time when they blew the radiator, was the radiator replaced
Yes,
with a new one?
completely replaced. Yeah, and then we damaged it pulling out of the parking lot at the clinic, St. Anthony's Clinic there. One of the pipes that hangs under, suction pipe under the truck, just barely bumped it, and it pushed up into the radiator and put a hole in it.
So they was able just to repair the,
No,
they have to replace something?
yeah, it got a new radiator also.
Oh, another new radiator? Okay.
Yep. But that was, we did claim that to the insurance, and the insurance paid for it.
So are you able
Or
to
paid
find parts for that yet, the radiator or whatever?
They had to pretty much get it shipped in from a long ways away. So, yeah,
But you got it,
we got it. It's back in service.
great.
The other frontline engine, the 1998, has been going through a lot of repairs as far as just keeping that truck on the street. We had some steering linkage problems with it just recently and had to do a bunch of actual linkage work to it. So it's back in service as of right now. Still has some pump work that needs to be done, and a few other little things that need to be done to it to keep it in service, and especially before the winter.
So how long is the new one out yet?
Over a year.
Year yet?
Yeah. Yep, the ambulance that we wanted to purchase has been put on hold. I was informed that a couple weeks ago that, we were ready to go with it, and we were told that we have to put it on hold for now, so not really with too much of an explanation, it's just that finances were gonna be tight, so hopefully next year, with the new budget, we can revisit getting that ambulance, but we have had our third ambulance out we put a lot of money into that to keep it roadworthy, and it's working. Our number 2 ambulance has chronic problems that continues, like we just lost a module in it the other day, computer module went out. So we had to take it to fire services and get it fixed, but that ambulance keeps having problems. We're gonna have to put a liquid spring underneath it.
Pertaining to the box or the engine?
Both.
The chassis too?
Yep, we've had chassis issues with it as well. What year is that one?
13.
That's 2013, that's our number 2 out. And then the Chevy is, 2008. And then the new one, believe it or not, is already a few years old, so. Yeah, we've had no problems with that ambulance other than people running into shit with it, so. And that's just, the subdivisions we have, the tight roads we have, and the buildings that we have that happen to hang over too far from our ambulance, and we run into it once in a while. But that primary ambulance has been a rock star rig for us, because it's a custom built ambulance.
The new ambulance went ordered 2 years to build?
I think we just got, notice that it was 24 months. Now, because if we would've ordered it when we wanted to here just this month, probably, we would've been able to get it in probably a year. But it is what it is.
Okay, monthly activity reports.
Um, 216 calls for the month of September, 156 EMS, 39 fire calls, 19 PI crashes, which is a personal injury accident. Excuse me. The town of Cedar Lake had 164 of those calls. Unincorporated contracted Hanover Township with 32, and then mutual aid to other towns and cities is 19. And then if you look at the graphs, last month Friday was our busy day, around 1,900. And Chief Fisher was talking about all the overdose awards that he gave out for the police giving Narcan to bring these people back, which I want to expound upon is that initial dose of Narcan is vital to being able, if you give them too much Narcan, that's not good either, but that initial Narcan that gets them to come back around until we get there to start IV therapy on them is really vital. And these police officers that are getting there, a few minutes before us, trained at being able to do that stuff saving these people's lives, it really is. It gives us as medics, and our department as medics, a little better chance of turning the whole thing around for them in an ambulance. Without those capabilities, and back in the day, the police officers had none of that stuff to be able to do anything, they just had to wait for us. And the outcome was not as good. So, those are legitimately, bringing people back to life, so. And like you said, there's times where they're not breathing at all, and there's no life to them at all, and that Narcan reverses it, so.
Okay, does that finish, the activity report?
Yes, sir.
I don't think you have anything on Lexipol?
No, because we found that we need to build a couple more. We just had a meeting with the attorney and the clerk treasurer on another department policy that we need to put together. So I want to do it all together. So I think that probably by the first of the year, we'll be ready.
So, as far as your monthly notifications, like that the police department gets, that we work on, are you getting very many of those?
We really don't get, we have like 6 updates that are sitting there right now to be looked at, and we've looked at them, and most of them are punctuation problems, but there are a few of those that are, that need attention and need to be looked at by the commission as well. But I also have 3 policies that we're building, that need to be built and need to be put into, one's the actual drawn-out hiring process, in which we're waiting on some data back on that, and then another one is the policy when somebody leaves, the return policy, and then Dave just got recently, not too long ago, the contract policy together. We've been looking at that as well, as far as when people leave, so we're still working on that too. Like I said, we just had a conversation about it the other day.
I would suggest that as far as the Lexipol policy, if there's major changes in it, that you have,
Oh, absolutely, no, we're not gonna
we
change
should
anything.
meet before the next meeting.
Okay,
and get
if you
that
guys wanna
done.
do that, but it probably
Yeah,
won't be ready.
if there's important changes, I would suggest that we don't have a problem, but come on, if it's important, we should get it on
Absolutely,
the books,
okay,
okay?
yep.
So, and that takes care of 6.
That's just talking about those 2 other committees, yeah. No, that's it.
Okay, how about 7, anything on other?
No.
Okay. Mr. Ashton, number 18, you're up.
The first item can be removed. I've verified in my office, we don't have an open item on that, so it can be removed. The second item, I'm working with the town manager on.
Okay, thank you. Number 19, Town Council Liaison Report. Anything to report?
I don't have anything to report, but I have a question for Chief Wilkins.
Go right ahead.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Chief, can I get some clarification on that grant that you applied for? What's
It's
the duration of it and,
It's called the SAFER grant,
okay,
okay? And it's a 4-year grant. It's a 3-year grant, I don't remember, 4-year grant. It's the same as the COPS grant, to where after, they pick it up 100% for those 4 years.
okay,
And then the next year, you have to be able to, take the whole grant, or the whole salary over.
okay.
And, we've applied for it. This is our second time applying for it. And we didn't get it last year, nor are we seeing any future in it this year. It's close, but it's close to being over. Crawl Point actually submitted it 7 times before they got the grant, so.
Wow.
And they just got it last year.
So is it all or nothing? You get 3 or 0 or?
Yep, whatever you put in for is what you get.
Okay,
Or you don't, I wanted to put in for 12, but obviously we weren't gonna be able to do that. And, or 6, and the town has to be able to sustain it once the grant runs out in 4 years. And if we can't, in 4 years, sustain 6 or 8 more people, then I don't know how we're gonna sustain anything if we can't do that. And especially when the government is gonna pay for it for 4 straight years. That's the idea, so.
All right, I appreciate the clarification.
Thank you.
If you go to FEMA's website, and log into it, you can see the grants that are offered. And you can also see the awards, who's got awarded.
Chief, can I get
It's
clarification?
FEMAgo.in.
Dot what?
FEMAgo.gov, I think it is, something like that, off the top of my head. FEMAgo. No, it's FEMAgo. That's where they go to the grants, and then, yeah, it is.
Actually, if you're still in the running as we are at this date, that's a good thing.
It is,
Because you could get cut the first cut, second cut, third cut. The fact that we're still in it's good.
yeah.
Okay.
It gives us hope.
Yeah.
Slim, but it gives us hope.
Chief, for clarification, we have one vacancy right now?
Well, we have one that's going through the PERC process, and then one more vacancy that yeah,
Okay, one vacancy right now that we have to fill.
yes.
Okay.
New building update?
Had a good meeting, I mean, it's going, yeah. They got the steel on the police side nearly completed, and then I think they're supposed to start the steel on the fire side next week, weather permitting. But, yeah.
Okay, do we have any other for either department?
I don't.
Trick or treat hours.
5 to 7 on that glorious October 31st.
Gentlemen, do you have anything else tonight? Public comment?
Mary Joan Dixon, 8711 West 132nd Place. I was just wondering if you could expand a little bit on the emergency operation plan. Is that for the whole community? Is that for just
Yes.
community plan? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We worked on it, Mary Joan, for about, God, was it 6 months?
Yeah,
Every aspect
longer
of
than
it.
that, yeah.
Public comment twice. Public comment 3 times. Therefore, there being none, I declare the meeting closed.